everyone acts as they've never seen any dark fantasy before. And when I say this, I'm not referring specifically to anime, but to other types of media as well. I've seen too many people addressing this and complaining about the rape scene in the first episode. To be honest, I don't think it is as bad as everyone makes it out to be. I agree that it's not the same as torture and murder because killing can be justified. You can kill in self-defense, kill to ease the pain, kill to protect someone, and so on. But rape is inherently bad. It can never be justified because of the nature of what it is. It's a fundamentally disgusting and repulsive act of dominance and dehumanization. That's why every sane person hates it. But going back to the anime, dark fantasies have, well, dark themes, and this is one of them. It's more common than you think. And to be completely honest, if you are sensitive to this sort of media, then avoid Goblin Slayer. But don't make a fuss over something that has always been part of a dark fantasy. You could argue that the scene didn't have to be shown, and you would be completely right. It could have been mentioned off screen. But the fact that we saw the scene was exactly what was needed to build that hate and disgust for the goblins. It was brutal, but had a necessary impact for the sake of feeling that emotion of anger and disgust. Showing it and mentioning it doesn't have the same effect, no matter how detailed the explanation is. It doesn't have the same impact as viewing it yourself. If it makes you feel uncomfortable and is hard to watch, how do you think the victim feels? It's not rape for the sake of doing something bad, it's for the sake of getting a moral message across to the viewers. The goblins are portrayed as these primal savage creatures. They're a force of nature whose entire existence is parasitic and damaging to the human race. They shouldn't be held to the same standards that we would hold another person to. They are not redeemable. That's why when the Goblin Slayer arrives and kills everyone including the helpless children, it's justified. They will grow up and follow the same cycle as the other goblins. The show makes it clear that whenever the goblins capture a male adventurer, he will face torture and death, and when it's a female adventurer, she will face rape and death. The Goblin Slayer states that they reproduce quickly, even though there are no female goblins, which at this point you should have a very clear image of the world that the story is taking place in. Also, the main character, the priestess monologue at the end, served to show the consequence that rape has on the survivors and that it's a common occurrence in their world. They're traumatized, broken and hopeless. I'm not here to convince you to watch it if you can't handle or hate what happened. I'm also not here to convince you to drop it. I'm simply telling you that this is the type of world the author wished to create and the story he wants to tell. As for my first impression of the overall episode, it was okay. Not a big fan of how they handled the introduction. It was hinted in the first seconds of the episode that those three newly introduced characters were going to die, and because they intentionally made it obvious, I was simply waiting for them to die and see what the show tries to achieve with that. Please bear in mind that I had no prior knowledge regarding the series. I like that the Goblin Slayer is not overpowered, or he seems not to be, because of his silver tag and the fact that he had to use strategies to kill those goblins, which makes it interesting as there's room for progression. I have some mixed feelings about how the Goblin Slayer explained exactly how the priestess and her group failed. On the one hand, it can be because of his experience of battling goblins that he learned their behavior, or this can be a trait of his personality. But on the other hand, if this keeps often repeating in the future, it would be kind of an insult to the viewers. There were also some noticeable small issues with animation, but it was fine. Anyway, I will keep watching cause I'm curious to see where's the story heading. Hopefully it's not only about killing goblins. Thank you for watching this video, subscribe if you want to be notified when I upload, and I'll see you all next time.